So in this video, you're going to learn how to write the function when they give you zeros that are imaginary. We're in section 3.6 and I'm in example 3. First thing I want to mention is that I squared is equal to -1 because the square root of -1 is equal to I. That's going to come in, that'll be important when we multiply these out. So the zeros here are x equals 3 and x equals 3 plus I. Imaginary numbers are just like radicals. They're never singular. They always come in conjugate. So the other zero is 3 minus I. So we multiply this out the same way we did the radicals and the regular number. So x minus each 0. Again, we really should parentheses around those and distribute. And then what would happen is these two parentheses would just switch. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave them as they are. Okay, so this is going to be x minus 3. And this part will be just like the other part where we have the x squared minus the sum of x plus the product. So we're going to do the sum and product here. So the sum of these two zeros is going to be 6. The imaginary part will cancel. So this will be x squared minus 6x. The product, again, will be multiply the two numeric values together, 9. And we're going to multiply the two imaginary numbers together, that's minus I squared. The middle terms would cancel if we were multiplying these out because they're conjugates, so all we really have to do is multiply the first and the last terms. So then we get 9 minus, and then I squared is -1, so it's minus a -1, which makes that a 10, because this is 9 plus 1. So this is going to be plus 10. This is x minus 3. And then you would multiply out the rest, just like you normally multiply everything else out, like we did in section 3.5. I'm going to leave that part alone. Well, let me finish this one. For the next one, I'll just show you the first portion. So go ahead and multiply x times all of these. And -3 times all of these. So that makes it -3x squared plus 18x and minus 30. So I get x to the third minus 9x squared plus 28x minus 30. And that's f of x. Let me skip around. We're going to go down to this one. So this is going to be, I should probably make a different one, but that's okay. This is x is equal to radical 2. X is equal to negative radical 2 because radical answers come in pairs. The next one is x equals 1 minus 3i. And that means that you have 1 plus 3i. Remember that radical answers and imaginary answers are in pairs, and they're always conjugates of each other. So f of x is equal to x minus the square root of 2, x minus negative square root of 2, that's plus, x minus this one, so 1 minus 3i, and x minus the second one. When we multiply these two out, when they're conjugates, you just multiply the first two terms together and the second two terms together. Again, a radical times itself gets rid of the radical because that's the square root of 4, which is 2. For the next one, we're going to have the sum and product of these. So the sum is adding these two together, so that's 2. So it's minus 2x because you do the opposite. The product, you multiply the first two terms together, 1. You multiply the second two terms together, so minus 3i plus 3i, that's minus 9i squared, which really makes it 1 plus 9, because that's -9 times -1, because I squared equals -1. So I get 10. So that's plus 10, and then you would multiply those out. So that's how you multiply imaginary numbers together. You do the sum, opposite of the sum, and the product, then you're going to multiply the rest of this. Let me go ahead and multiply the rest of this out. So x squared times x squared, x to the 4th, x squared times minus 2x. x squared times 10, negative 2 times x squared, negative 2 times negative 2x, negative 2 times 10. So x to the fourth minus 2x to the third plus 8x squared plus 4x minus 20.